So I want to give you an update on my face. I put tea tree oil on today to take some of the swelling down. So I want to go over some things that they're talking about, what they've been admitting, but also just more on this technology and emotional abuse. So the emotional abuse with this technology is because it's meant to cause mental illness, confusion, memory loss, but it's also meant to make the victims seem like they're not being victimized. So the emotional abuse of this comes in where you have to prove that this is actually happening to you. And it takes a lot to prove that this is happening. But what they said, and they admitted, I was never part of this. So I never got voices inside my head. Now, there's a video that shows how this is supposed to work. It's supposed to come, the sound is supposed to come and bypass your ears, go directly through your brain into, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but how your brain, how your ears work. There's something inside. So it's supposed to hit that thing inside your head. Now, when we talk about the distance it can travel, it cannot be done from a, a, a hot, I don't know what the word is, but a far distance, because it has to be able to hit your head. So when we're talking about something coming from, I don't know, another country, how is it coming from another country if it has to hit your head? It has to be somewhere close to where your head is. Now, does that mean right on your head? No, but there's a distance away. And I'll link a video that I saw which talks about the distance. And because they keep insisting that this can be done remotely, what I'm saying is part could be done remotely, but a large part cannot because it has to be able to hit your head. But also, if something is between your head and this technology, it cannot go through that object. And that is a big deal about this technology. So we're talking about that. We're talking about how it will affect you emotionally if something is being done and used to hit your head, which include your brain, and the negative effects that will have on you. Then I'll talk about what they're admitting. They admit that I did not urinate in the park. They said years ago now, I was with my boyfriend from about 97, late 97 until early 2004. So it would have been over 20 years ago. That one night I woke up and I asked him, was I urinating in the park? So they admit that didn't happen. They said they sent that in a form of a dream. So my question is, how would they know what I asked him? Um, I again, we're getting into a part where they have to now prove to me. You see how before I was saying that I have to disprove things. Now I feel they have to prove things to me. They wouldn't have to break into the apartment and move things around, change things, scan things, which they admitted. I don't understand why today they're saying they didn't do it when they already admitted that they did that. That's how this was supposed to work. They came in and they started scanning things, which is partly what I'm saying. Some things I don't recognize, and some things I know were moved around. When I was talking in a previous video about the original research letter from Albert Einstein, which wasn't always part of Montefiore. They said, well, you did go to Montefiore. Montefiore wasn't always connected to Albert Einstein. So when they keep insisting that, oh, it's the same, no, it wasn't always the same. And I never went to Albert Einstein. So for Albert Einstein to send a research letter asking Co-op City residents above 40 and up about aches and pains, inflammation in terms of cognition and Alzheimer's, it's suspicious, especially when this was happening around the same time. And the research letter, as I showed you in a different thumbnail, at the top, the approval date was 2016. So 2016 is not just something I'm randomly coming up with. It's something that I've seen as part of this process. So when I was just going back to what I was saying about Albert Einstein, they weren't always connected to Montefiore. They were separate. And so I would spend my days and nights arguing with them, and that was what this is supposed to be. But it's supposed to be in my head so no one else could hear it. And in my head, I would be spending all this time arguing. What happened is by doing these videos and putting it out publicly, people are aware of this system. And I want to know, I have a big question. How could people have known about this system and didn't tell everyone? Why? I mean, if anyone is watching at this point, could you explain that to me? That is something that won't be an interpretation